Hey everyone, welcome to Data Umbrella's webinar. I'm going to do a brief introduction about Data Umbrella, and then we'll have the presentation by Martin, and we'll take Q&A and answer them when it is convenient. This is being recorded and will be on our YouTube within a day. A little bit about Data Umbrella. We're a community for underrepresented persons in data science, and we are a nonprofit organization. This is our team behind that makes these webinars happen. We have a code of conduct, and we thank you for helping to make this a welcoming, friendly community for all. There are various ways to support Data Umbrella. The first and foremost is to follow our code of conduct, contribute to making a welcoming and collaborative space for all. Also, if you could share our events with others, that would be great. And we have a bunch of open source projects that you can contribute to that are on our website. We have video timestamps, for instance, for this event, as well as our website and our Sprint websites are all hosted on GitHub. We also have our blog and our data events board. Other ways to support Data Umbrella is you can donate to our nonprofit. We're on Open Collective as Data Umbrella, and we're on Benevity as well. If you work for a company that uses Benevity, they have a dollar for dollar match. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have all of our webinars on there. We have a playlist. Career advice is one of them. We have a bunch of playlists such as data visualizations, contributing to scikit-learn and PyMC and other scientific libraries. We also have a monthly newsletter. It's at dataumbrella.substack.com, and we send it out once a month. This is a QR code to get to our most commonly used links for Data Umbrella. We have live captioning available on this platform. At the very top, you'll see CC, closed captioning. And so, if you want live transcription, feel free to hit that button. We also have an online suggestion box, and I'll share the link in the chat. So if you have any suggestions for future event topics, feedback on this event, any technical issues, or any other feedback, feel free to share it with us there. Our next event is on October 17th, so it's 2 weeks from today, which is Exploring the Open Source Landscape in Australia. Today's talk is Introduction to OpenRefine for Data Cleaning and Reconciliation. Martin Magdinier is an OpenRefine project manager and core contributor since 2013. Wow, that's 10 years. And you can find Martin on, I guess these are all the OpenRefine links that are shared. And with that, I am going to go on mute and hand over the microphone and the screen share and video over to Martin.
Hey everyone, thank you for the introduction. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. It might take a little bit of...
I'm going to reshare it.
Okay. Yes, now it's showing up.
Perfect. So thanks for joining. Thanks for your interest in OpenRefine. So OpenRefine is a free open source power tool for working with messy data. And when we say working with messy data, we mean exploring it, cleaning it, transforming it from one format to another, and then extending it with external resources like web services and external dataset. What I suggest we do today is I'm going to start with a quick presentation of the OpenRefine project, explaining a bit the project history, who are our users, why they're using OpenRefine, and how you can contribute since we're an open source project. And then we're going to go into a walkthrough of the OpenRefine interface, presenting how you can use it to explore your data set and help cleaning and normalizing your data. For questions, I suggest we have like two sessions. One right before the demo, if there is like comment, feedback, clarification regarding the slide deck, and then one after the demo and walkthrough for any question you might have regarding the user interface. So, been with OpenRefine since 2013. OpenRefine is an over 10 years old project and went through quite a lot of governance and branding and name changing. And one of the names you might also have heard from is Google Refine, which was when the project was under Google stewardship between 2010 and 2012. So really started as Freebase Gridworks in 2010. It was built by a company built MetaWeb as a companion tool for Freebase. So Freebase was a knowledge graph. So everything, knowledge graph is like, I'm not going to go in that topic today, but it's around representing different entities and different elements and the relationship through a graph database. And OpenRefine was a companion tool to clean up and upload data to that knowledge graph, and also perform reconciliation, so matching the external data to existing entities in the knowledge graph. So company's been acquired in 2010 by Google, and Google was really interested in the Freebase. They kept Google Refine running for 2 years with the original engineers working on it until 2012. And in 2013, they announced they will remove the support from OpenRefine, and OpenRefine really moved to a pure volunteer-led project. OpenRefine's always been open source, so it was like no change on licensing. It was really the structure of the support. At that time, the project also moved from Google Code at the time, for those who remember Google Code, to GitHub. Project was, again, so purely volunteer run 2013 to 2017. And in 2018 up to today, we worked on a different governance model and sustainability model by receiving funds. So today, OpenRefine received funds from the Cenk Zuckerberg Initiative, the Wikimedia Foundation, NFTI in Germany, and we also received previously funds from Google News Initiative. So really that regular funding helped us to keep one permanent lead developers working on the project, and having different contractors like myself doing part-time project management, having part-time designers, and other specific skill as needed. Our goal is really to keep the project mostly volunteer run. So today, if we look at our contributors, we got the lead developers, but still like 4 or 5 other active developers participating, and helping young people in their careers through internship. So we work with Outreachy and Google Summer of Code through at least one round of internship per year during the summer. So who is using OpenRefine? So as a data cleaning tool, you find dirty data a bit everywhere. And OpenRefine, through the last 10 years, been able to reach a lot of different audiences. So our biggest user base are librarians. Still don't know if they're biggest user base because our biggest users, or if librarians like to fill our yearly surveys and are overrepresented because of that. Used by research community, both on the scientific and humanities side, so hard science and social science, either to process any lab results, any survey data, any field collections, so in like any annotations made on the field by observers. We've got, as I mentioned previously, a big collaboration with Wikimedia Foundation and the Wikimedia movement, both on the Wikidata side and on the Wiki Commons. So for those familiar with Wikidata, is the same principle of knowledge graph that Freebase was, and OpenRefine is becoming or is used as a companion tool for Wikidata to do the same type of upload, reconciliations and aligning dataset and matching it against Wikidata. And then we also use, but like anyone in non-for-profit, for-profit, government, and basically any data analyst who has to take a data set that's not in the format they want and transform it to something useful. OpenRefine is, as we'll see, is a point-and-click interface. So really, we're lowering the technical barrier for someone to take action on the data. Project again is very strong and widely used. So we got close to 25,000 downloads for our latest release last July. Over 9,000 GitHub stars, 2,000 forks, and really 101 contributors since 2013, since we moved to GitHub, and really like a good 20-25 active contributors via GitHub. When I say contributors, it's not only code contributors, like everything we do is tracked via GitHub, so it's going to be either code, design, documentation, translation, everything goes through GitHub and is recorded as a contribution this way. So why you want to use OpenRefine to clean data? OpenRefine lets you work with any type of data format. So we support Excel, CSV, but also nested format like JSON or XML. And as our primary audience are people who know the data but might not have the specific skills to work with like a programming language, having a point-and-click interface that support JSON and XML like open doors when you're like facing limitation with an Excel or a Google Doc type of software. We can do fuzzy matching, easy duplicate removals, what we call facet, filtering and sorting the data, doing all the data mashup, so joining, merging, splitting and merging columns. Everything you do is saved in an history. So you've got undo, redo, rolling back to understand what's been done in your project, creating these audit trails if you need to explain back your work and have that auditability of your project. Transposing, which is mostly moving columns to rows or rows to columns, often head scratching task to do. OpenRefine offers a lot of different combinations, and because it's visual, you can really confirm you've got the results you want immediately. And I think what really helps a project scale and remain relevant for so long is completely private. So we'll see OpenRefine run in your browser. So it's something you download, but we create a small web server on your machine using Java and just use Chrome or Firefox as an interface. But all your data remain on your machine. Nothing goes to a host, nothing goes to the cloud, and you keep like full control of what you're doing and what you're working on. For those looking to contribute to OpenRefine, so there is different ways. First, our biggest contributors for us are our users. Without users, there will be no project. And any question you may ask, any idea on how we can improve the software is more than welcome. So we have moved recently our forums to discourse. So from the forum, we have a support question and a feedback section for anyone who want to share, either ask for support or share any questions or improvement suggestion. You can promote and present OpenRefine to your community, organize training, write tutorials. As I mentioned previously, we have a wide user base, and a data journalist might not use OpenRefine the same way as a librarian or as someone working with Wikidata. So for us, it's really important to see each community embed OpenRefine in their workflow, in their context, and present it with data sets that are relevant to their community. So with OpenRefine project, we provide all the training, not the training material, we provide all the user documentation, all the descriptions, the functionalities, but really what makes a difference is when users provide the tutorials, provide a recording on using OpenRefine with a data set that makes sense to their communities. As you get more comfortable using OpenRefine, you're welcome to join back the forums and answers others' questions, really providing that peer support and help improve our documentation. OpenRefine is available in many languages. I think we like over 10 different languages. So we always have that need for people helping with the translation. And what we want to do soon is also translating our documentation. So people not fluent in English can also learn OpenRefine and start using OpenRefine, not just with the interface in their language, but also having access to the documentation. Bug fixing and new features. One of the divide we have in the community, it's not divide, it's the way the work is organized and the skills are organized in the community is we have very different users and developers. Because OpenRefine is a point-and-click software, is letting people with limited technical knowledge do a lot of things on the dataset, and there is often little expectation that that crowd will be able to write code and contribute into developing OpenRefine and maintaining OpenRefine software. So on a project side, we really manage two different community, our user community and our developer community, which sometimes like the overlap and the communication channels they have is on the forum, is on ideating new features and resolving bugs, but then we see little end users going to provide fixes. So we've got like a completely different onboarding process for developers. We've got our tutorials and code contribution. So if you know someone looking to contribute to a project, we've got a list of first good issues. We've got a walkthrough on how you can set your environment, prepare, like find the right issues to work on, and then test your change and submit your change. And we're working on having the same type of onboarding for designers as a point-and-click software. Our UI is very important, and we want to get more designers collaborating with us to improve the user experience. So that's a process we really started to work on in June, July this year. We've got our design contribution guideline that's currently being worked on, and something we're like identifying first good issues and entry point for designer in the community. So before we go into the demonstration and walkthrough of OpenRefine, I just wanted to pause here to see if there is any questions or comments.
No questions so far.
Okay. So what we're going to work on today is with a data set from the city of Toronto in Canada, which is the list of the building permits. I'm going to pass the link in the chat. someone is interested to follow at the same time. And what we're going to do is we're going to work with the full list of permits since 2017. So file is about like 100 megabyte. I've already downloaded it on my machine. But that's from where I was able to access it. So when I say OpenRefine, some of the OpenRefine run on your local machine is so I've got OpenRefine running locally. So it's installed in my app location. You can download OpenRefine from directly our homepage, openrefine.org. If you click download, so here I've got a Linux file because I'm on Ubuntu, but we'll also be able to download the Windows, Mac OS. And when you start OpenRefine, what it does, it really created a console with the log of OpenRefine running. That's something you can ignore entirely. It's just showing OpenRefine is up and running, and connect your Chrome or your Firefox to that local host. So 127.0.0.1 semicolon 3333. So I'm running 7.2. We got 7.5 has been released. Maybe it's time for me to catch up with the latest. But you will know when a new version is available automatically. So what we have here is a homepage of OpenRefine. You'll be able to create a project from data located on your computers, because again, everything works locally. I can shut down my internet connection. OpenRefine will still work. I won't be able to present to that webinar, so I won't do that. You can ask OpenRefine to download data from a URL directly. You can just copy paste directly in that clipboard. You can connect to a SQL, MariaSQL, or Postgres database, again to download directly, or you can connect to Google Drive to retrieve files on your Google Drive. What I do is I go in my download and I select my building permits dataset and click next to load it. OpenRefine does not create your project directly. First, we have this preview just to make sure we are parsing the data correctly. So here, OpenRefine detect, this is a CSV. You can see it can support like many different files, JSON, JSON-LD, RDF, XML, Excel, or Mark. Mark format is for something used a lot by librarians. And then you can configure how OpenRefine should read the dataset. So it's a comma separated. We're using quotes. In that case, if I'm reviewing the data, it's been parsed correctly automatically. And now I can click Create Project, and that's really when OpenRefine is going to take the data and load it into the software. When I do that process, it really duplicates the dataset into OpenRefine memory. So the initial file I downloaded remains the same and will be untouched. So it's basically your initial project, that's your archive file, and that remains safe. It's not like an Excel file you will open and start editing. Here we're really creating another copy. And what you will need to do is once you finish with your project, from the export button, you'll be able to recreate a new version of the file after the cleaning in CSV, Excel, OpenOffice format, or generating like SQL statement. So as mentioned, OpenRefine is it's a visual interface. So here I know I have 255,000 records and displayed in a grid. In here, we just display 10 records per page. I can change my pagination and like really move next to navigate each record. The idea behind OpenRefine is really not to go on a record by record, line by line basis, but more to approach it like the way you do programmatically, which is finding a pattern in the data and applying a statement, applying a transformation or an analysis on the entire column. So like the best example we can have is, so for each column, I have this drop down that give me all the option on what I can do based on that column. I will just start with a text facet, which going to show me a summary of all the different values that exist in my permit type. So why people are asking permit in Toronto, what are the different permit type? And here I see across my 255,000 records, I've got only 20 different values. I've got nothing with null or blank. Everything is filled up. And here in light gray, I've got how many time that value is present. I can sort that list alphabetically or by count. So we see like the most asked type of permit is to do plumbing and then to do small residential project, moving to the less asked, which I guess are like special coding, but really being able like to see the list. And if I want to narrow down on one specific item, I can click it and I'm gonna filter on these 170 matching rows that are portable classroom. So very quickly, I can, even from like a medium-sized data set of 255,000 records, can have a very summarized overview of what are the different values in the column and really start to explore on each column very quickly. I can combine multiple facets together. So I can also like create the same type of facet for the work, which have a lot more values with like 35 blanks. And really like start to combine them. So you can see like all my portable classroom are basically split up in two types of work, in certified portable and non-certified portables. So here, when you think about data journalist, for example, wants to review political contributions, it really helps that person to ask and have a conversation with the data set and very quickly explore what's available in the data. Other things I can do is like on bigger field, like the description, I can just have a plain text filters. So since we're talking about schools, I can search the term schools and find any descriptions that contains that terms and potentially like help to find and narrow down on other aspects. As you may know, not all the data come clean and tidy. And often what you have is endless list of close or repeating values like this one, where you've got for the same, so it's like the current use, looks like it was a free field people completed when they asked for the building permits. And we ended up with like many variation of a 2-unit semi-detached. I guess we've got a list of spaces and variations. Going and cleaning up, going through those 6,700 choices will be a big call and not someone I wish to do. Where OpenRefine can come to the rescue is using our clustering algorithm. And it's available either by creating a text facet like I did and clicking cluster, or going to edit cell, cluster and edit. Here, what OpenRefine will do is like really do that clustering work, so bringing together data that looks the same based on different algorithms. So here we're using Fingerprint, we can use Ngram Fingerprint, Metaphone, or we can use what we call nearest neighbor, so Levenstein and PPM, which are like other way to cluster. So the bigger data set, and depending on how powerful your laptop is, it may take like a few seconds for OpenRefine to create the different clusters. Whilst it's load, just going to provide a bit of background around clustering algorithm. Should have clicked nearest neighborhood either. I'm just going to reload my project to escape that loading tab. No, it's stuck on key collection. Okay. So really, clustering algorithms are going to look for different. They're going to create hashes, so transformation on your data to find if it's similar. So here, what Fingerprint does is it takes the string, put everything to lowercase, and then it remove all the space, all the extra space, remove all the punctuation, and then reorder the word alphabetically. So basically, like the fingerprint for this will be DTH, semi, SDF, or in lowercase. And because all those values create the same hash, create the same fingerprint, OpenRefine is able to say like, oh, are all those the same? Same thing for the DTH, semi-DTH. And here see like, because here there is no space between, it was not able to put it in that cluster because that's two different words. Like it sees as two different words. And really, OpenRefine is always in that spirit of keeping the domain expert in control. It's not going to automate any of those matching. It's really up to you to say, okay, are those the same? Do I want to merge it? What's good to know is each fingerprint algorithm is more or less conservative. So fingerprint is very conservative, and that's something you can basically trust in bulk if it suggests the same values. So you can select everything, merge and recluster, and then move to an algorithm that's going to find, going to take a different approach, going to take a different hashing approach and make suggestions. So here, like it suggests that group, which obviously are different things, but it starts finding like other type of potential duplicates. So I can really go through my list, decide what I want to merge or not merge, and work to clean up my my data set this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go with like a phonetic based algorithm, and here you start seeing a lot of things that might not be unrelated. Like, I mean, the 2 unit dwellings and the 9 unit dwellings are different things, and that's where you can see like, is my algorithm really bringing me something or not? My elementary school is maybe something I want to keep. So OpenRefine really lets you stay in power of what you want to merge, what you want to clean, and what you want to keep the same. So that's what OpenRefine can work on text. OpenRefine is also great with numeric values. So here I've got my estimated construction cost, and the way it's been set, because the values are in black here, it's been set as a string. Using OpenRefine, I can transform it to numbers, so I can start to have numeric facet and treat them as numeric values. So here my facet really give me the range, so going from 0 to 510 millions. But what's interesting is there is a set of records that have not been recognized as numeric. So here again, OpenRefine let me find something inconsistent and narrow it down. So obviously the construction cost, do not update or delete this field, is not helpful. And here we see we have a list of values where OpenRefine did not convert to numbers because of the comma. So here I know I've got potentially some work to do to remove the comma and enable OpenRefine to recognize those as numeric values. That's what we're going to do here with a replace function. And here I want to replace my comma with nothing. And automatically my comma has been removed, and I can reinvoke my command transform to change them to numbers and really, again, here narrow down on what's left as non-numeric is only that field, which is a non-numeric field. We can also remove it and null it. So I can either use again my replace function that will need for me to retype this exactly in the replace, or I can go in my facet, click the edit, delete everything, and apply, and that will automatically edit all the field that add that value in my dataset. So again, very quick way to identify inconsistent data and being able to take action very quickly. And again, I'm not just using my mouth. It's like everything is point and click, and you don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to know how to write some codes to work through those data sets. So now everything is organized and recognized as numbers. I've got my facet working, and I can be very curious and see what are the most expensive projects here. And it's a big retail stores on Bayview Avenue. OpenRefine works the same with date. So with the same approach, I can convert those two dates and have the same type of, this time, timeline facet. And here all of them converted to time, so I got no blanks or no non-time data in my column, but really help you to work with a different data type. For those interested to teach OpenRefine, what I like about OpenRefine is also a great way to teach the different data type to your audience. So what is a string, what is a number, what is a date, why is it different, and what are the different operations you can do on those. So we're going to push it a little bit further and look at how we can do and prepare for reconciliation and how we can do reconciliations. So here what's interesting to see on that data set is the street's been split into 5 fields and at a very, very granular level. It's very rare that we work with that level of granularity. And let's say for a use case, we just want to have the street, we just want to have an address field with all those fields concatenated into one single column. What I can do is I can join those columns together. So I can say I want to join my street name, my street number with my street name, my street type, my street direction, and my postal code. Between each value, I want to have a space. and I want to write my new results in a address column. I don't want to delete. I want to keep my others, my previous columns the same, so I can still reference to them. So here, OpenRefine's been able to create that new address field that we be able to use. Looks like we entered 2 space in a rows because of the empty street direction. So to address that, I can ask OpenRefine to collapse consecutive white space. And we've been able to remove 225,000 consecutive white space across our dataset. Next, we'll be going into reconciliations. Before we go into reconciliation, I just want to pause here to see if there is any question or comment.
No questions so far.
So reconciliation service is a very specific API that's speaking in the format that OpenRefine can understand. A reconciliation endpoint will basically open and provide a data set through that API. So you can query that data set directly from OpenRefine. What we're going to use here is we're going to use Wikidata. So Wikidata, for those who doesn't know, is a project maintained by the Wikimedia Foundation. And it's basically a machine reading format friendly dataset and version of Wikipedia. So here we've got Bathurst Street, which is a street in Toronto. We see it's connected with Wikipedia articles. We got entries in the English, in the Farsi, Hebrew, and Chinese version of Wikipedia. And we got all the structures around here. So we know the name of that street in English, in French, and in Chinese. We've got access to images about that street. And we got a ton of other relationship, and that's really this knowledge graph approach. So we know it's named after Henry Bathurst. And if I click that link, I will go on the basically Wikidata page of Henry Bathurst, and really starting to explore the same way you can explore Wikipedia. We know in which country, in local administrative, the coordinate, which intersection it connects with, the lens, route map, and a commons category. Commons category is interesting. Wikimedia Commons is basically where the Wikimedia project store all their object, images, videos that are used across the different Wikimedia project, Wikipedia included. And here, basically, I've got access to the 123 files that reference Bathurst Street. So what we want to do is looking at our building set is how can I connect my street with Wikidata entry, so I make sure that my street name is spelled properly, and then I can benefit from all that knowledge available in Wikidata. So what OpenRefine lets you do is searching for a matching object, previewing and validating we've got the right object, accept or reject matches, import the unique identifiers. We'll be able to import this QID, which is a unique ID of Bathurst Streets in Wikidata, and then enrich our project based on that information, on that relationship, sorry. Before we go there, Wikidata is one of the reconciliation service. Here we've got all the different reconciliation services that exist. I think the one people are most often interested to work with is Wikidata. For people knowing, for librarians, knowing the Getty, all the Getty entities are also available through reconciliation service. We've got Thesaurus from the Dutch National Authority. We've got, again, like, so the Getty vocabulary. And for people working in research, all the ORCID dataset. So around authors, like academic authors and academic papers are also available for reconciliation. So if you have a set of publications, like a bibliography, you can run it through OpenRefine to link each authors with the ORCID ID and start enriching your project about who that authors, what they did, and who they're working with, and so on. So to get reconciliation working, what I will need to do first is, because I did my test before that webinar, so I don't want to I would spare you the trial and errors. What we need to do is clean up the street name so it's recognized more easily. So Avenue is not AVE, but Avenue. And again, here, like, just clicking my edit here, I will replace those 98,000 entries in one click. My street, my RD is road, PR is drive, press is crescent. I'm going to stop here, like we will have enough for our test. And I'm not interested in street number, so I just want to concatenate my street name and street type. And to make my research more precise, I will also add my Toronto as a city name to make sure we just match the street name within the right city. Because I want to append something, and we need to use a new features we haven't approached yet, which is add a column based on that column. And here we get into the Grid language, which is OpenRefine programming language. There is plenty, if you look online for OpenRefine Grail, you'll see plenty of tutorials. My plan is not, for the sake of time, not to go into the details today. But what will help you to do is to create custom expression, so I can concatenate my street name with information coming from my street type, and the city of Toronto. Because it's a string, I want to put it between quotes, and I want to add a space between the two. I'm going to name it reconcile, so I know why I want to use that column. So OpenRefine language, expression language, again, it's like single line. It's no more complex than Excel formula. If you know how to write Excel formula in a couple of trials, like, you understand how OpenRefine Grails work. You've got through the help, you've got the list of all the expressions available to do any type of replace, splitting, parsing, joining, or transforming your data. The good things about OpenRefine is here, as I write my expression, I have a preview. So even before applying it to my entire data set, I know that what I've done is the results I will get is what I want, and I don't have to, I get like a very quick feedback loop on what I'm working on. So I got my new column's name, and because we're going to send every line one by one through API call, and I don't want to spend too wait too long for the webinars, I'm going to reduce my data set through the application date. And we're just going to send what's been, we're just going to reconcile 353 records. So the execution of the script is faster. So here I can click Start Reconciling, select my Wikidata reconciliation link, and here OpenRefine is sending my first 10 records to Wikidata. Wikidata automatically detect, oh, this looks like streets, so do you want to reconcile it as a street, as a road, as a metro station, as a tram service? Street is great for a use case. And I will not want to auto-match my candidate with high confidence. I want to have full control on what's what. And here OpenRefine created 2 more facets. So I'm going to remove what I don't need. And here I can see the matching score of my suggestion. So here you see Broadview Avenue. So the suggestion with a score of 80% is Broadview Avenue, a northwest road in eastern Toronto. I can click the link to access the Broadview Avenue page. It looks like this is what we want to match, like that's a good suggestion. So I can automatically match all my Broadview, clicking the 2 check mark, all the Broadview suggestion. Lexington Avenue, same thing, a street in Toronto, seems legit. Bay Street, seems legit. And here again, I keep my full control on the data, what I want to merge, what I want to use, what I want to accept. Jane, yes, King Street, Eglinton. Another way, and what we're going to use to right now to go a bit faster, is we're going to match everything automatically. So now for each entry, it turns into blue. I've got my link with Wikidata, so my data is connected. I can go on each pages. What's even more interesting is once I've got that information, I can enrich my data set directly from Wikidata. So I can add a column from the reconcile value. And I can say, okay, now let me know in which country those streets are. Well, no surprise, everything is in Canada. Let me know the length, like if that attribute is populated in the data set, I can get the length of each. I can, and then search any properties I can see here. So here, what I want to see is my comments category. If I search comments, I can get the comments category. And here I've got the name of the wiki comments category for that street. I can also search the location entity that will help me to validate if I got like matches from London, from New York that I don't want. Clicking OK will add the 3 columns. And here, because Toronto is also another entity in Wikidata, like I've got access to the Toronto Wikidata page, and I can keep doing the same type of extension and goes down the rabbit hole the same way you do on Wikipedia, but from a data from a data perspective. So here I can say, give me maybe some layers of Toronto's head of government, for example, and being able like to explore an entire data set. So if we study, for example, from a list of countries, I can get all the capital cities, and then for each capital cities, I can get their populations, and so on and so on and so on, and keep enriching my data set this way. So that's all for my presentations today. I think we've got 5 minutes left for questions, feedback. Put here the link if you want to download OpenRefine. We've got a page with a list of tutorials and external resources and online courses, our GitHub page, and our forum. I will be pleased to see you join and asking questions or helping others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martin, for your presentation on OpenRefine. If anyone has questions, please leave them in the chat or in the question and answer tab. We have some few minutes left. One question on the reconciliation API, which API versions are supported by OpenRefine?
So it's really one it's really what we call a reconciliation service. So it's something which is developed by a W3C working group. I'm going to try to find that page. So that's W3C Entity Reconciliation Community Group, and that group's been working to set sorry, I'm losing my word, to set standards around that API. So OpenRefine is one of the main clients. We see like other clients looking coming on board. So it's not any API OpenRefine support this way. It's really API and data sets that follows the entity reconciliation group. In OpenRefine, you have the option to make API call by fetching URLs. So here I can make API calls. Again, if that's something you're curious, there is tons of tutorials online.
Yeah, thank you for that response. We have a comment from Brownie, who says, thank you, this was very helpful. As Smith says, this helped me understand the basics of OpenRefine very well. Thank you so much, Martin. Yeah, I think we have those comments. We don't have any other questions. As I said, we have more people watching the video, so we will make this recording available on our YouTube channel in the next 24 hours. So we'll send you the link. You can also share that. Thank you, everyone, for attending our session. It was very insightful. Thank you, Martin, for your awesome presentation on OpenRefine. The presentation will be available, the recording will be available in the next 24 to 48 hours. We will send the notification to our community members when the video is uploaded. Michael says, thank you all thank you for your presentation and making the recording available too. Best wishes. So with that, I think I'll close the webinar and I'll stop recording.
Thank you for your time.